Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again. Has to happen.
No transformative physique is complete without a set of, you guessed it, boulder fucking shoulders. So we're going to do that. We're going to get some boulder shoulders with my favorite rear delt exercise, rear delt cable flies. So I'm going to do 4 sets of these. I don't really do a lot, so it's going to be mainly focused on the rears and the middle delt. Don't really do much for the front delt because your front delts get worked by a lot of your pushing movements, but kind of just feeling it out. Again, kind of similar training style to yesterday, where I'm okay with going a little bit higher on the reps if it means that I'm getting a really good squeeze. And I'm trying to just like get some cannonballs, bro. Not bad for a first set. I didn't even count how many reps that was. All based off feeling. That felt pretty good. Maybe we'll play with the idea of going up one plate, 2, 3 more. Woo. Okay, that felt like a decent amount less reps, but that was still pretty good. Got around 10. 2 more sets of that, and we should be good with this. Again, I really like this because it keeps constant tension on the rear delt the entire time. It's pretty simple to do. And even if this thing wants to move all the fuck around, if you're coming down, that force applied is going to keep that down here. And you're going to have to deal with a wobble. Speaking of wobble, it may sound silly, but while you're working out, if you're like, man, I just don't think I'm feeling it. Look at a mirror. Look at the pump. Trust the pump. The pump will tell you whether or not you're working the right muscle. It might not feel like it, but if you look, you're like, holy shit, what's that? Good chance you're probably doing something right. Woo! Malanta, getting warm. Okay. Oh, man. Woo! What a start. All right, let's go do something else. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, but Raymond, didn't you just use this machine? Yes. Change of scenery. That wasn't really the intent. But there's a lot of shit that's taken, so we're going to do some lateral raises over here. I was thinking that if something comes back to you twice, it was meant to be, so. And that's too light. I'm going to go a little bit heavier. Whoop. Okay, about 12. Not too bad, roughly equivalent. A little bit strong on this right side, but that's okay. We could stay right here. As long as you keep them around the same, you'll be all right. Okay. Oh. Woo! Jesus. One more set. And then I'm going to try to get the overhead press. You can, if you want to, lean. Maybe I should do that. Oh, moves way too much. I'm not going to do that. But you can actually do that to get more of a stretch. You might even see some people lean off of a bench. Whew. Oop, a little close. Woo! All right, let's be done with this. Now this is where the magic happens. We've pre-exhausted, and we only did one exercise for really targeting the middle delt and the rear delts. But we pre-exhausted a little bit. Now this is going to hit extra good. We already got that blood flow going, and this is just going to build. Again, a little bit higher on the reps. Ooh. Oh, okay. Not bad for the first set. I really like this, and I want to take full advantage, so I'm going to do 3 more sets of this. Oh. Ooh. Man, that felt pretty damn heavy. Woo, man, but that was good. This thing only got 7, which isn't as much as I'd like to get. I don't feel like changing it, so we're just going to work with this. I will say this is a little odd that we're doing this with a deadlift bar because it is longer. The normal bar is a little bit more short, and I guess, I don't know, maybe that might be contributing to the perceived weight of this thing. I'm not too sure though. Man, one more set. One more set, we'll move on to something else. Maybe some dumbbell laterals. Maybe that's what we'll do. Now, I'd like to point out that when I start this movement, some people do it differently. They'll go up and then come down to here and then go back up again. I guess you could say I'm team full ROM, full range of motion. So I always bring this shit to my clavicle. So I did a little bit of Olympic weightlifting, and when I do this, I kind of go back to that where I get the bar, I get it right up and under, right? Stand up, and look, that's where I have the bar. It's right on my clavicle. Then push up. See if we can get one more. Woo, we got it. Maybe another one. Nope. All right. Good enough for me. Let's go do something else. Next stop for the middle delt, lateral raises. Okay. I feel like I did a lot of reps there, so I might grab a heavier weight. All right, I grabbed the 20s because there was only one 17 and a half. Okay, you know what? That actually was more appropriate. So we'll just put these 15s away. We're not going to be needing those. Boulderous shoulders. Oh. All right, that went down a little bit. Woo. One more set, and then we'll do maybe some rear delt related again. Maybe face pulls. All right, a little bit of an extended rest because I had to fill out a paper for my man Tio here. Normally, I don't participate in the sales things that they have, but he's a cool guy, so. All right, I'm kind of done with this. It kind of knocked me out of the zone, but we'll get back into the zone. Let's put this away, do something else. Okay, we don't normally do this, but I'm going to do some upright rows with this cable. Not bad. Not bad at all. We'll do 2 more sets of that. Not bad. Not bad at all. One more set. One more set should be good. I like this. I don't love it. But it does feel like it's working something. So maybe we'll do this more. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it. Again, sometimes if something doesn't feel right the first time, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. We might just have to fine tune some things. All right, we're going to do some face pulls. Make sure I'm in the frame. There we go. Woo! Again, it's okay to go a little bit higher on the reps on these. In fact, I'd say it's a little bit better. You're going to get more of a benefit of doing this with more contractions, really controlling it, lightweight, all the way through. Because we do have some small little rotator cuff muscles that if we go if we go too heavy, too fast, you easily hurt something. Okay. Woo! One more set of that. That's feeling pretty good. It's moving nice. Feeling the full squeeze. I'm happy. Huh. All right, so I was having trouble finding the spot. We're back over here for a thumbnail, but oh, oh. Hopefully I didn't move. What else? What else shows off shoulders? Maybe this? Okay. Hmm. We didn't do traps, and oftentimes I don't do traps. You can. I don't know. I never do shrugs, but we kind of did a little bit of traps with upright rows. I will say, but for a more complete shoulder workout, throw in a little something for traps. But if your traps are good, then you might not need to worry about it. It all depends on where you're at. But whoa. Okay, let's go to the car. All right, guys, we got out of there, and I had to go get gas, so I didn't, which is right across the street, and I didn't want to start this just to end it in like a minute. But one thing I thought about and I wanted to mention. So I started off this video saying, for like something like an attractive transformation, aesthetic transformation, we got to get some boulder shoulders. And I said that because typically for men, it is the V taper. So the ratio between your shoulder width and your hips that is seen as attractive by people and probably ladies. You know, that thing that people have fought wars over and done numerous things, over. But I lied. And I lied in not the way that you might think. So that is technically true. However, I will say that it doesn't really matter what you do. I mean, you could have boulder shoulders, you could have, the biggest triceps on the west side of the Mississippi. But if you are not mentally attractive, it's none of that is going to matter. And it took me forever to realize that. And I wish this wasn't so dark, but it took me forever to realize that. Because for the longest time, it's easy to get caught up, especially in like health and fitness and just like all about the look of everything. And yes, I do like training that way, for a look. But if you are insecure, if you are, um, arrogant, if you're a douche, it doesn't really matter what you look like, because that mental unattractiveness is going to shine through and basically nullify 90% of what you're trying to accomplish, right? And honestly, that's it. It's not just about the physical component of fitness and health that's like, to increase desirability and like just overall feeling good about yourself, because you could be jacked but have terrible self-confidence, and you can see who those people are. They're the people that are being super obnoxious in the gym, and not like in a fun way, but like a damn dude chill kind of way, slamming weights, or that the people gotta like always make a point to like seem like they're better or whatever the fuck. It's at the end of the day, it's all overcompensation. And I'm gonna tell you this: you're trying to like get a date, land a relationship, get a girlfriend. Girls will smell that shit from a mile away. So if you don't work on your mind, you're missing an entire half of the equation. Because if you really want to be Himothy, you gotta do both. You gotta have a healthy body and a healthy mind. Additionally, a sick mind, and this is not saying you're insane or anything, but like a person whose mind is not mentally well is going to attract somebody else whose mind is not mentally well. They say opposites attract, and in ways that's true. But when it comes to dating and like relationships, oftentimes people pair up and they're more alike than they think. You know, if no, because if you think about it this way, if you take somebody who's like batshit crazy, or maybe I won't say crazy, but like they've got a lot of trauma that they got to work through, right? They got to do some inner work, spend some time being single. If you take that person, you're probably going to be pretty turned off by their behavior. If you're of like a sound mind and have done the work on yourself and put in the time, really got to know yourself, worked on your traumas, when you see people that don't, it's just going to like it's off-putting because it's like grow up. You got to grow up at some point and take responsibility for that shit, right? There's people that there's like chronological age and then there's mental age. And you want someone that's on like your mental age. Chronological, and of course, I feel like I shouldn't need to say this, but chronological age, yeah. You should find somebody your own age. But mentally, the mental component is so important and is so often looked over. And I'm saying this as someone who was quite the man child. Okay, I had plenty of traumas that I needed to work through, and I was not the healthiest person. I was, the person that needed to overcompensate just to feel worthy, right? And honestly, it wasn't until I started lifting weights and like, noticing all these changes, and I lost a bunch of weight and like started getting more attention. But I also did the mental component. I went to therapy. I learned about traumas, triggers, emotions, and all that jazz. I learned about that because, A, I wanted to be happier with who I was. I wanted to feel more confident. And I didn't want to be in a toxic relationship with somebody. And I could not guarantee, well, I can't say I could not guarantee that, but if I myself was that toxic person, I'm only going to invite in more toxicity. And I would say at the gym, like, it's one thing. I think I always say, stay beautiful and that you are loved. And that is true. Everybody's beautiful in here. We all got something that we have to offer somebody, the world. And we kind of owe it to ourselves to, like, I don't know, bring that out, through our health. Our health is probably one of our biggest indicators of our mental health. And when we work on that mental aspect, we can kind of see through the fallacy. And then also, like, we're looking good in the gym and whatnot. It kind of helps you not let it go to your head, right? Because if you can see these things, and like this is a big component, like body dysmorphia, right? No one is ever big enough. No one is ever thin enough. And it's like that exists because of that external and internal pressure to be like this thing that might be impossible, right? It's like never enough. And it doesn't matter how big you get or how thin you get, it's never going to be enough. Why? Because you didn't work on this part. So if you're doing this part, that's great. You also got to do this part. The only thing is that this people you don't see it immediately. This is tough to work on. It's easy to go lift something up. It's kind of tough to work through all of that, like all of that emotional baggage and shit that happened to us when we were kids. And you know, everybody's got different level of shit like that. But and it's not our fault. It's not our fault that those things happened to us or we went through those experiences. But it is our responsibility to tend to those things. And one thing that I do want to promote on this channel is not only being beautiful on the exterior, which is something we all can achieve, it's being beautiful on the interior, being a good person, helping people out, saying kind things, you know, doing things like that, putting that out there in the universe will build your confidence. And when your confidence is built, that affects literally every single thing that you do. You in the gym, your work, your friendships, your relationships, just the way you feel on a daily basis will change. And I say this because I've done it. I've done it. And it is honestly and I owe it to the gym because the gym helped tremendously. But I had to go through all that and do that for myself and change those things. And dude, the thought just left. ADHD, there we go. And that's, see, I at least know myself, and sometimes things like that happen. I had something there, but point blank, what I really want on this channel is us to be focusing on our physical health and our mental health, because that's what I kind of started with when I started making content. Not so much YouTube, but more so on TikTok and Instagram. And I did notice that along the way, I kind of lost some of that, right? Because if I'm being honest, I was like making videos excited, but then I was kind of letting myself get beat down by views and likes, and I found myself getting caught up in it. And I think that's what I kind of lost sight of, like why I wanted to make content to begin with. And it was to help people that were people like me. People like me that, you know, felt lost, felt miserable, or overweight, never think that they could lose the weight, feel like they're ugly, can't have a healthy relationship to save their life, not even knowing where to start when it comes to understanding ourselves and our like mental faculties. That's why I started doing all of this. So I do want to start incorporating more of that stuff on this channel and kind of get back to the entire reason why I started making content. Because again, like, look, I'm not perfect. See, I can get caught up in it too. And we're human. We're not perfect. We can get caught up in things. But when we work on our mental health and our mental faculties, we're able to recognize these things and be self-aware enough to reel ourselves back in. So, didn't really plan on that going that way, but that's the way it went. So, hey, everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why I said that. But, see, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope your shoulders feel as sore as mine do right now. Remember to stay beautiful and that you are loved, as always. I will see you tomorrow for leg day. And, yeah, I love you, bro. Take it easy.